Good morning. Today, we are going to be talking about how sometimes setting a boundary can create more of a conflict and how to handle that conflict. Okay? So, got my coffee. It's a beautiful day for a walk. Look at this gorgeous weather. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, on to it. I received this question from a friend. So this was the scenario that she found herself in. She set a boundary, let's go back a little bit. So she says that she's notorious for avoiding conflict, for speaking up for herself, right, and setting boundaries. And so she did a really brave and courageous thing. And on the spot with a family member in front of his friends, she spoke up for herself and she set a boundary, basically something along the lines of, hey, that's not cool, right? And he laughed it off, which is typical, right? Because it's uncomfortable. People don't like being called out. They don't know how to handle it, right? So later she pulled him aside and she just expressed her boundary again and just how she felt. And he decided to just drop a bunch of emotional baggage on her. And what I call this the fire engine method. So when people don't really want to show up with their hearts, they don't want to show up vulnerably, they don't actually want to work on things with you and listen, what they do is they go, ooh, fire over there, right? And they try to pull the conversation off track so they don't have to sit in their discomfort. Or what they'll try to do is then drop a bunch of stuff on you, like blaming, like, hey, you this and you that, and you know, instead of like going, gosh, I'm sorry you felt that way, they go, well, these are all the ways that you've made me feel bad and I've been holding these grudges towards you. So they'll find a way to turn it around, right? This is really common. A lot of us have done this at some point in our lives to other people and have had it done to us. So again, part of what happens, but it ended up making her just feel worse. It was really, really unkind, his response, and felt kind of like an attack, right? So she walked away from that and she waited till the next day. Hi, puppy. Oh, he's so cute. So she waited till the next day and texted him and just kind of, again, expressed her feelings. And he responded back and he said, I'm sorry for how you feel, but there wasn't any ownership. Again, he didn't take any ownership. She was sharing vulnerably. She was showing up with her heart. She was inviting connection. She was inviting healing. She was inviting conversation. And this person still, third attempt, rejected her bids for connection and deeper understanding, right? And instead just said, gosh, sorry you feel that way. So she felt really sad and frustrated, and then she texted him again, and then she never heard back. So, ooh, the light just changed a whole bunch. Let's see. Let's give you a picture of my chin. There we go. Better lighting. So that's when she messaged me, and she's like, how in the world do I handle this? How do I resolve this conflict? And in my personal opinion, in my experience with these things, is at this point, you have to resolve the conflict within yourself, because the other person is not showing up willing to actually like talk about it, to be vulnerable, to share their heart, to own their shit, right? So there's really not a conflict to be solved with the other person. Now it's about solving the conflict within. And this is my encouragement to her and to anyone else who runs into this. First off, well done on doing the brave thing, showing up, being vulnerable, because you cannot be brave and you cannot be courageous without vulnerability. That is how it works, right? So well done. Well done on showing up for yourself, speaking up for yourself, the whole deal. And part of healing this conflict within yourself is, of course, going to the places within you where you know exactly where that other person's behavior is coming from, right? With empathy and compassion, knowing it's not about you, knowing that that is their defense mechanism, that's how they've survived. They might not know how to show up in this way, right? Like they really might not. None of us were taught this stuff. We were not taught this shit. So this family member that she has, might not even know. Like, he might not even know. So going to whatever level of compassion, empathy you can have for the fact that you've probably been there in your life too, so you get it. And also, you're not responsible for that. The fact that he can't own his stuff, that he can't show up vulnerably, that he can't reflect back to you, that he hears you, that he sees you, that he doesn't want you to be feeling this way because of the things that he's saying or doing. The fact that he can't do that for you has nothing to do with you, right? So like, all the love, all the grace, all the compassion. And I find that what gets resolved, the way to resolve the conflict in yourself is to really connect with that self-love, that self-compassion, and knowing that you really did do this brave, courageous thing, and that you're going to choose to keep showing up that way. Right? That you are keeping your side of this proverbial street clean, right? That for your part, you're being a good friend. For your part, you are being a loving family member. This is how you are choosing to show up in love, and owning that and recognizing that's the biggest win of all. And that is, for most of us, the conflict that needs to be resolved within ourselves is this conflict of having something to say, for spending years of our lives not actually being on our own side, spending years of our lives not advocating for ourselves. That's the biggest conflict, right? So when you realize you can show up and speak up for yourself, and you can invite others into those conversations and into that healing and into a new kind of relationship, that right there is you showing up for yourself and changing your life and creating a life of joy, true belonging, right? Because you're not trying to fit in. What you're doing is you're showing up as yourself, and you're finding out who your people are and who receive you and who love you exactly as you are. And one of my favorite courses that I've created 2 courses on Insight Timer that I want to talk about here. One of them is called Learn How to Say No. It's all about compassionate boundaries, and it's all about this stuff. So it's on Insight Timer. Go check it out. It's a 10-day course. You can listen to it while on a walk, right? Oh my gosh, look at that sun shining through. Where'd it go? And then the other course is called When Relationships End. So a lot of us find that when we start really showing up and being ourselves, for ourselves in our relationships, those relationships sometimes end. And maybe they end permanently, like you end up in a breakup or a divorce, or you don't talk to a family member anymore, or a friendship ends, or a job. And sometimes it's just that relationship needs to end as you know it. The dynamic in that relationship needs to end, and you need to create and build a new dynamic in the relationship. So it doesn't mean the relationship's over, it just means the relationship's over as you know it, and you got to create something new. And the way that you create something new is showing up in new and different and courageous ways. Yes, oh my God, this shit excites me so much. Yes, right? So anyway, both of those courses are on Insight Timer. I highly encourage you to check them out. They're both 10-day courses. They're enormously helpful. And then, of course, keep sending me your questions. You can send me questions in the classroom over there on Insight Timer too. I answer every question. So it's questions just like this that people send in that I answer over in that classroom, or just message me and I'll answer them here in a video, okay? If you don't know who I am, I am Jessica Amos. I'm a truth teller. I'm a life transformation coach. I'm a mindfulness teacher. And above all, I'm the founder of Stay With Yourself, which is the practice of being who you are, where you are. And that's exactly what my dear friend did with her family member, right? She showed up and she was herself in that moment, and she honored what was coming up for her in that moment, and she spoke out loud what was coming up for her in that moment, and she invited this family member that she loves into a new way of being in relationship and a new way of being. I could just cry. I feel the emotions. I am so fucking proud of all of you who are doing this work. I know it's hard. I know it takes courage. I know it feels lonely sometimes. I really do, because I've been there, okay? So, sending you all the love today. Stay with yourself. Honor yourself. Let me know how I can support you. Sending you all the love today. Bye. Wait, first, let's see. I'm gonna see if I can show you more. Now, I'm kind of in the shady part of the park, but it's just so beautiful today. All right, sending you love. Bye.